It is super late right now, and I'm super sweaty. You've probably heard of trading card games before. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, they're all out there. They've taken over pretty much every self-checkout line imaginable. And yeah, they might look like harmless pieces of cardboard, but don't let that fool you. Because in the world of trading card games, things get crazy. So today, we're diving into some of the most wild, unbelievable, and straight up psychotic things people have done all over these bad boys, many of which happen at GameStop. Grab a seat and get comfy, because some of these things will have you rethink and get in a pack for yourself. W transition. Woo, woo, woo. There's a man looking at me from his balcony. It's kind of scary. Anyway, sorry, he's like waving at me and I'm kind of scared. To start off, just in case, let's explain what a TCG is. It stands for Trading Card Game. They're basically pieces of cardboard with cool images or designs for pretty much any niche out there. They typically have a one-on-one style game attached to them. There's tons of them across almost all hobbies, except there's one thing they all share. You have to have someone to play with. You can't play it by yourself. I remember being in middle school and I got my first pack of Pokemon cards. I didn't buy like a starter pack or anything. I just bought a booster pack at Target because I wanted to get into Pokemon. I was like, Mom, this pack, please. And so I went to school the next day with my Pokemon cards, thinking I was the coolest guy in the world. But some of my buddies were playing, and apparently they had like the full-on decks at that time. And I was like, "Ooh, I just got my Pokemon cards. Let me be in next. Let me go next." And so like it was my turn to play the game, and the guy puts the little mana on the table, and he's like, "Here's my starters." And I just start throwing down Pokemon cards. They're like, "That's not how the game works." It was rather a rough way to learn how to play card games. Yeah, I got bullied a little bit afterward. Anyway, people get into cards for all sorts of reasons. Some love the artwork, some enjoy the competitive side in tournaments, and others, they just want to flip them for a profit. Because that's right. In the wrong hands of a scalper, these things can go for thousands of dollars. Even a Magic the Gathering card was once purchased at an auction for $2.6 million by Post Malone back a few years ago. And with that type of money, that's enough to make people go crazy. It's enough for people to kill. And that brings us to our first story. On July 5th, 2025, 3 men at a local Bay Area GameStop were waiting to buy Pokemon cards. One man, a 49-year-old Miguel Oriana Flores, cut the line and an argument broke out. Things escalate quickly as Miguel hits the victim in the back of the head with a glass jar, while another man, a 27-year-old Isaiah Calles, grabs a shard of glass and starts stabbing him, over and over again, all while they were just trying to buy cards. Both suspects fled the scene but were arrested the same day and charged with multiple felonies, each held on a $2,500,000 bond apiece. Now, not everyone in these situations want the cards. Some of them are just at work, trying to do their jobs. Take Derek Guerrero in Fort Lauderdale. He was working at GameStop when a guy ran in, grabbed 5 boxes of Pokemon cards, and bolted. Guerrero, being the true-blooded American he is, pulled out a handgun and fired, hitting the man in the side. The shoplifter dropped the cards and made it to a truck that was waiting nearby. He drove off quickly, but died hours later in the hospital. Now, one important detail. The shoplifter never threatened the man. Guerrero was never put at gunpoint or any sign of physical harm. Now, even though Florida is a stand your ground state, it doesn't quite meet the criteria for that. Guerrero was arrested for manslaughter, but then later released on a $25,000 bail. When he was released, he kept apologizing, saying that he never meant for it to go that far, and that he was just sorry for the victim and the victim's family.
Is there anything you want to say to the victim's family?
To the family, I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry to the family.
But still, that's a life gone all over cards. And it's not just Pokemon cards. Back in 2012, a reporter named Sean Dugas had a valuable Magic the Gathering collection. He let 2 friends, Christopher and William Comier, stay with him in Pensacola, Florida. Another Florida one. They would frequently hang out and play Magic, but sometimes people will do anything for money. One day, William decided to hit Sean in the back of the head with a hammer. And then he kept hitting him until Sean would eventually pass away. The brothers then united and hid his body in a bin where they would fill it with concrete and bring it all the way up to Winder, Georgia, where they would bury it in their father's backyard, telling them it was nothing more than a dead dog. Less than 2 months later, they were caught. William got life without parole for actually killing Sean, while Christopher served significantly less time, only 11 years out of the 15 years sentenced, since he only helped hide the body, which is still crazy. All of that just for a card collection valued between $25,000 and $100,000. That's a crazy between. And honestly, that, even on the low side, that's $30,000 for killing someone. That is not a lot. And even outside of trading card games, things don't get less weird. In Pittsburgh, a priest named Reverend Aiden Smith was arrested after stealing over $1,000 worth of baseball cards from a local Walmart. Aiden had been caught trying to steal 27 packs, only later to find out that he had done this 5 days in a row.
Damn, I forgot!
Totaling to about $1,099.99. Turns out, not only was he stealing cards, but he was also selling church artifacts online. Someone had noticed the items on eBay, then bought them in order to return them back to the church. But when they looked at the return address, they noticed it was Smith's wife's address, which was also his address. Dun, dun, dun! Aiden was arrested, posted on bail, and placed on leave. The church bishop simply asked people to pray for him and his family, which honestly is nicer than most people would be in that situation. I mean, bro was stealing artifacts. One of them was literally a plaque about the Titanic. I don't even know why the church had that. So yeah, next time you find yourself in a GameStop or a Walmart to buy cards, just remember, what seems like a harmless hobby can sometimes bring out the absolute worst in people. TCGs are still a great source of fun and community. Just maybe keep your head on a swivel. Either way, stay safe and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.